Welcome to Dark Horizon Creations. I'm Mike. This time we're taking a look at the Action Force Weapons Pack Alpha by Valiverse. Now, if you hadn't already, please follow, like, and subscribe to my social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you get a notification of when I post new content. Tonight we're going to take a look at the Weapons Pack Alpha, which is identical, I do believe, to the prototype weapons pack that I reviewed last year. So let's go ahead and pick up the box and turn it around. Yeah, this is pretty much identical to what I reviewed last year. Most of these weapons were in the prototype weapons pack. We didn't get the blast effects in there, but I think most of these were included. I don't remember seeing the Silencer Code Maxim 9. Okay, so here we have the Action Force Weapons Pack Alpha out on display, and we're going to begin on the left and work our way to the right. And we're going to begin with this beauty right here. This is the FN Scar Mark 16 Mod O Chamber 4556. And I really like that this is done in gray and black. My personal weapon is done in a phantom gray just like this. Really cool. And you can see all the detail on this gun. You've got the ambi selector switch, mag release, brass deflector, pick rail on the top. It's got an aim point sight, iron sights are up. And you know, this is very realistic because when you shoot, you want to have your irons up to co-witness with your red dot. So if the red dot or hollow goes down, you know, you can just use your irons. You don't have to worry about flipping them up. Surefire can on the front, Tapco Defense vertical grip. On this side, you see the pick rail on the bottom and the sides, charging handle, selector switch, bolt release, trigger. Really nice all the way around. And you can see the level of quality put into these weapons. These are solid ABS plastic. These aren't that soft, gushy crap like Classified Series or the Jazzware Halo weapons. And included are 9 30-round stay nags, which will fit both the Scar and all the M4 variants. Next up, we have a short barrel M4 with a M203 grenade launcher. I'm trying to remember the manufacturer of this stock. I can't remember who makes it, but I have seen it. It not only adjusts for length of pull, but it also folds to the side. Iron sights on this gun. You can see the face of the bolt carrier assembly there. That's really neat. You've got your brass deflector here, forward assist here, mag release there, dust cover, pick rail on top. This side you've got your selector switch, your bolt catch, molded trigger. Really awesome. The only thing that I don't like about this is it doesn't include an optic like the Scar. And I know with the prototype weapons pack, what I ended up doing was cutting the red dot off of this Milcore MGL and gluing it onto the M4 and using it for beachhead. Stay nag mags, of course, they're going to fit M4. Ready to rock and roll. Next up, we have the H&K MP5 SD6 integrally suppressed 9mm submachine gun. This was the standard for many, many decades all across the world. The Germans manufactured an awesome submachine gun. Very accurate, very reliable. 30-round curved magazine. You can see the details in the tri-rail, the suppressor, folding stock on here, your iron sights, peep sights on the rear and the front, aim point optic, your selector switch, charging handle up here. Really, really nice. I don't think the magazine removes, no. But this is a really cool gun. You know, this kind of set the standard for submachine guns because it replaced what many agencies were using and counter-terrorist units in the Uzi. And the H&K MP5 SD submachine guns were very, very popular with 22 SAS, as well as other counterterrorist units like the GSG, German Counterterrorism Unit, and American Special Missions units as well as law enforcement units, SWAT teams and specialized police units all across the world, Great Britain, Germany, many agencies in Europe, as well as in North America. And I also think that Australia and New Zealand use them as well. And the really cool thing about this particular weapon is that in the operating system, there are buffers designed to absorb the impact of the bolt as it's cycling, so that it dampens the mechanical sound of the weapon. You know, when you fire a weapon, you have the mechanical sound, of course, as the round is fired and cycled with the bolt carrier assembly. You have the explosive sound when the round is fired, and then you have the supersonic crack. And an integral suppressor only controls one of those, and that is the report of the weapon when it's fired. It slows and traps the gases in the suppressor, in the can and the baffles and things, and slows them down and reduces the speed of them as they exit behind the round as it's fired. If they're using high velocity rounds, which they don't in these, you would still hear the supersonic crack. It's a really cool weapon. Milcore MGL 40 Mike grenade launcher, rotary magazine. This rotary drum, I think, is supposed to come out. Let's see if it rotates one way or the other. Yes, it does come out. And I guess you can just, push it back in and it will rotate. It's a decent weapon. I don't like it. You know, I much prefer standard old school M203 over something like this. H&K MP7, this is a more modern submachine gun used by some special operations units. The MP5 as well as this have mostly been replaced by the H&K UMP Universal Machine Pistol. And you can see it's got a red dot optic on it, attached suppressor. Tried and true DMR, designated marksman rifle. This is a SR-25 manufactured by Knight Armament. It does have a 6-position collapsible stock. You can see it's got pick rail, monolithic pick rail running the top of the upper receiver, as well as a free float rail. You got key mod rail here, attachments, angled vertical grip. This would be an 18-inch barrel, and then you've got loopholed or a Night Force scope up here. And really accurate weapon. Shoots a heavier round. Usually you're shooting somewhere in the 70 to 72 grain Black Hills ammo out of this. Boat tail hollow point Match King. And it will take a 30-round mag. Chris Vector 9mm. And this is a very unique weapon because of the operating system. And essentially the reason it looks like this is because the bolt carrier assembly, instead of recoiling straight to the rear, actually angles down like this to absorb the recoil of firing the weapon to make it more manageable when it's being fired in fully automatic. And this is a suppressed barrel system for this weapon. EOTech holographic sight up top. And if you don't know where the fire controls and things are, you've got your trigger here, your selector switch is right here, and then you've got your bolt catch here, your mag release is right there. And a lot of people that shoot this for the first time end up accidentally hitting the mag release and the magazine dropping out of it. Kalashnikov AK-47, and the The reason for that name is because that is the year that it was manufactured and put into service. This gun is used the world over. There are millions of AK-47s all over the world. There's even a nation in Africa that has this gun on their flag. And unlike the M4, which operates off of a direct gas impingement system, which means right above the barrel is a gas tube that goes back into the upper receiver. And when a round is fired, the gas, of course, is traveling down the barrel behind the round, and a small amount of it gets directed back up the gas tube, back down to the upper receiver, and that's what cycles the bolt carrier assembly. The bolt carrier assembly flies rearward, hits the buffer, and the buffer spring absorbs the recoil, shoots the buffer back forward, and cycles the action. This operates entirely on a different system. You have your barrel here. This is chambered for 7.62. And right here you have a gas piston, and a small amount of gas is directed back up here into this section. And there's actually a little rod up here that gets pushed back that cycles this weapon. There were actually resistance fighters in Afghanistan that were stripping these and cleaning them with motor oil and socks. That's what they use to clean their AKs. This gun is extremely reliable. You can beat the crap out of it, get it dirty, filthy, drop it in mud. My first sergeant was in Operation Desert Storm. They took an AK, put it in a mud hole filled with water, and left it there for over a week, and come back and picked it up, and it fired right out of the water. And that's how rugged and reliable these guns are. And unlike the M4 that has an upper and lower receiver, the lower receiver is here. You've got a cover right here that comes off. You pull the bolt back and everything, it comes out. Your operating rod system comes out. Very easy to strip and clean and operate. This weapons pack includes 3 30-round mags for the AK. And to load your AK, you would angle your magazine like that and then push it in, roll it over, rack your charging handle, and you're good to go. Desert Eagle 50 caliber semi-automatic handgun. This is a monster, and really nicely detailed replica of it. Most of these are done in silver versus this one being black. Last but not least, you have the silencer code Maxim 9mm integrally suppressed sidearm. This is the sidearm of choice for Action Force and for the Steel Brigade. This is a very unique handgun in the way that it's designed and operated. And when they first designed this system, they used a Smith & Wesson M&P 9 for the handgun and then built the suppressor system around it. Now it has a proprietary handgun for the production model. And the way this gun operates is a little different from a standard handgun. This entire forward assembly here is the suppressor. The barrel in this gun does not move, it is fixed. And when the weapon is fired, the rear section of the slide from right here back is the only thing that cycles. Very short cycle. And you know, your sights are still here, but your rear sight's going to move. A lot of people attach a micro red dot here on a plate, mounting plate, to be able to use the gun quickly. And it takes Glock magazines, but it's a really reliable gun from what I've heard. I haven't shot one yet, but I've heard it's a pretty decent weapon. So also included are 3 different size blast effects. You know, you've got a small one that you can use either for the handguns or for your suppressed SMGs like this. You've got your larger blast effects that you can use for your AKs. Let's see. Thought one of these was supposed to attach to a grenade launcher. you can use on your M4. Let me pull this one off and see if I can get it to fit. No, it won't fit on there. So I don't know if the peg is interchangeable or not, but those two at least will fit. There's no peg on this one, so I might be able to use it like that on this rifle. So that works, yeah. So there's your weapons pack alpha. And I have to tell you guys, these are the highest quality 6-inch scale weapons that I've seen. And you know, the great thing about this is the price. You know, you can't buy these for the price that they're being offered by Valivers anywhere else. If you go to a site like Gridiron Props and buy one of their M4 type guns, you're going to pay $13 for it. Some of them I think are $8.99. Their version of the SR25 I think is $12.99. Marauder, you can forget it. And you know, the guns offered by Gridiron are 3D printed. These are not 3D printed. So you can see the level of quality that you're getting versus the competitors. If you don't have this, you need to order it today. Action Force Weapons Pack Alpha.